Hello guys, and today I'm super excited to be talking about a healer that a lot of people would dismiss, Holy Priest. And honestly, I've been doing a lot of Holy Priest gameplay in Mythic Plus because of the new build. I don't really want to say that it's a new build, but honestly, the way that this legendary changes the way that Holy Priest plays, the single target power of it, the way that certain talents, conduits, interact with it, it almost creates a new class. And it gives me this how do I say, a honeymoon period where there's something new. I really enjoy it. It's powerful, it's interesting, and honestly I decided to make a video, not only because of the community perception, but also because I feel this build is extremely strong and really friendly towards new players, and especially players who are looking to do Grievous with their Discipline Priest and their Shadow Mending all the time, and they want to try something new that's probably gonna help them succeed better, especially in unorganized pogs or unorganized groups that might not be the best at avoiding damage. So guys, the start of the video is going to go over the gameplay or how to actually achieve this build. Then we're going to talk about my thoughts about this and how it's gonna, is it worth going, is it worth playing, is it interesting? So let's go and get started with the gameplay section. So first of all, I have to mention that I've been doing a lot of the pogue groups myself during Grievous. My Holy Priest is around 205 item level, and it's relatively undergeared to my other alts or my other characters, so around 10 to 15 to 20 item levels higher. And honestly, I can say that Holy Priest with this build felt equal or even better than a lot of my other characters who are way overgeared. Especially with the requirements the Grievous kind of has, like you need to top up people. This build is extremely strong in single target, and of course you can use this build outside of Grievous weeks. I feel this is going to be really interesting. I've been doing poke keys like 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, we got into an 18 as well. So honestly, I've just been pushing this for one day as a Holy Priest with just this legendary, and I've seen some insane results on really heavy healing requirement weeks. So what do? So this is my Holy Priest right now. Like I mentioned, it's around 205 item level. It's not optimized towards Holy, it's optimized towards Discipline Priest, but I basically just swapped to Holy and I built this legendary. Flash Concentration. This is the only thing that you need for this build to work. And honestly, it is so strong. And I want to say it's fun, but I feel the novelty might fall off later on. So each time you cast Flash Heal. And remember this, heal is going to become your bread and butter for this. You might not be used to using heal as part of your Holy Priest rotation, but heal is going to be the bomb for this. Heal has its casting time reduced by a certain amount, and healing increased by 3% stacking up to 5 times. So it stacks up to 5 times. The basic rotation, stack this up to 5 times and cast heal. That's about it. Now, how does it synergize with other talents and conduits and things like that? What do you need to make it really work outside of that? So again, like I mentioned, legendary, get this. Very important, can't do this without this. Talents. You're probably going to be using Trade of Light anyways. So when you cast heal or flash heal, 35% of your healing is replicated to the previous target you healed with heal or flash heal. This is the cleave effect. So to some extent, you're almost healing 2 people at the same time, and because your healing is so strong with heal, it is a very nice cleaving effect. So really cool. Guardian Angel is pretty much mandatory because your Guardian Spirit is going to be 3 minutes cooldown. It's going to be dropping down if the person doesn't proc it. The increase to healing during Guardian Angel or Guardian Spirit is insane. Probably making you one of the strongest pure single target healers in the game with this. It is insanely strong. And there's a conduit that also helps with this. So outside of this, we're kind of good to go. Now, what kind of soulbinds, conduits you want to use? Now, I am using Ventier, and Ventier is mainly... I'm using it because, guys, I'm a Discipline Priest. I made this healer to be a discipline from the very beginning, and Ventier is a very solid option. Really strong in raiding, very decent in Mythic Plus, and it might not be the best for Holy, but you can make it work. So I'm using Draven Hold Your Ground. Hold Your Ground is insanely strong right now for anyone who's doing pure HPS or just interested in pure HPS. But what conduits I'm using? This is really important. Resonant Words is pretty much... I think it's really important to have this because casting Holy Word spells, so you have a bunch of Holy Word spells that you can use, increases the healing of your next heal or flash heal by 53%. You're going to be getting some juicer 20k plus crits with this build. Like, it's gonna be insane. So if you have this, also a lot of people might go with Lasting Spirit. Again, this is very low item level conduit that I have. I need to increase it. Guardian Spirit duration is increased, and it increases the healing received, though single target healing. So when I mention Holy Word spells, this also includes Holy Word Chastise, which is your kind of stone ability. So you can use this offensive ability to increase your single target healing. So don't forget about that. You have multiple ways of doing it besides your other Holy Word spells like your, Serenity and Sanctify. So something to keep in mind. So now the gameplay. I spent quite a long time explaining why it works, but the gameplay itself is really, really self-explanatory. What do? Cast Flash Heal 5 times. You can see here that I have a weak aura, and it's honestly really important. I have this weak aura that's going to be using, you need to stack up 5 times, and all of a sudden, after this, you're going to be casting Heal as your main source of HPS. Heal is going to become a lot faster to cast, and it's going to heal for a lot more. And on top of that, you can see a weak aura. You probably heard the beep here indicating that, hey, I'm about to lose the stacks, and I should cast Flash Heal again, because this only lasts 15 seconds, and this is the worst part of this whole build. Maintaining this buff every 15 seconds, again, the beep again, is really annoying. Or it can be really troublesome if you, for example, have to drink or have some downtime. And all of a sudden, again, this is changing in 9.05, and Flash Concentration buff off time is going to be 20 seconds instead of 15. I honestly wish it was a lot longer than 20 seconds. I think this build could have a lot more fun if it was easier to maintain, but I also feel there is intricacies when it comes to maintaining this buff. As long as you have 5 stacks of this, your heal is going to do so much, especially with the fact that you can, like I mentioned before, because you're using specific conduits, combine it with your Holy Word spells, like your Serenity, your Sanctifies. So for example, if you have 5 stacks, let's see this. If you have 5 stacks, let's go 1, 2 stacks, 3, 4, and 5. And then, for example, you use Guardian Spirit, you use Serenity, and then you use Heal. You're getting 16k non-crits. Again, we have to use it. We have to use it to refresh it. Again, if we use, like I mentioned, you can combine your Holy Word spells with your Guardian Angel or Guardian Spirit. You don't even need Guardian Spirit for this, but you can combine your Holy Word spells to give you some insane single target healing because of your conduits. So, because of the insane healing that you're doing with this, the talents of Trail of Light are going to give you splash healing. And it's also really important to talk about Surge of Light. So, the mana constraints to this build are actually relatively heavy. Maybe with time I'll become better at managing this, but honestly, maintaining those 5 stacks can be hard. Surge of Light is going to be your friend. So your healing or your healing spells and Smite has a chance to make your next flash heal instant and cost no mana. So 2 stacks. So basically, if you're running, for example, if you're trying to build your stacks, you get, for example, I got a stack there. So you have 5 stacks of flash heal right now, and you're basically just spamming your heal over and over and over again. And now you notice you could get this Surge of Light proc. And you might hold on to this Surge of Light proc for the moment when you need to refresh it. And this is gonna cost you no mana to refresh this buff. And it can become pretty easy in terms of maintaining mana. But you never know with these procs. You never know with Surge of Light, is it going to proc at the right time? Are you gonna get 2 in a row and things like that? So it's very orangey in terms of how you're going to make use of it. But it gives you kind of extra depth in terms of playing this class, in terms of maintaining this, in terms of being smart about maintaining Surge of Light procs in order to maintain your flash concentration buffs. So, this has a lot of, on paper, it's really, really easy to play, but I do feel that it does have a lot of different intricacies that you might not see in terms of how I can play it really optimally in terms of mana conservation, how do I maintain or like my single target healing in terms of creating burst heals with my Holy Word spells, with my Holy Word Chastise, I can proc that, and then go some juicer heals. And honestly, this is my Holy Priest overview of the flash concentration build. And now, the basic anecdotal data that I have in terms of doing Mythic Plus content, in terms of doing some of the lower Mythic Plus keys, like, 13s, 14s, and so getting the weekly done, honestly, it felt really, really nice. I'm in the, like I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm in the honeymoon period of this build. I feel it is extremely fun because I feel the single target healing that it provides is really, really nuts. And because the main difficulty doing keys right now, in terms of my opinion, is going to be A, keeping your tank alive, and B, healing through Prideful. And the A part of this is insanely strong. Your tank is gonna love you for the amount of healing that you can provide, especially if you can have your Guardian Angel procs at the right time. Again, if your Guardian Angel doesn't proc, or Guardian Spirit doesn't proc with Guardian Angel talent, it goes back to 1 minute cooldown. So 1 minute cooldown for insanely strong healing is really, really nice. The fact that you can also maintain Prideful pretty well, because on top of the new playstyle, which involves spamming heal, and this is the overview of my healing after doing, I think it was a 14 Halls of Atonement. You can see heal was the main part of the whole dungeon. You still have a bunch of other abilities that you can weave in. So for example, if you need more AoE healing, you're still going to be using your, Holy Word spells and things like that, Prayer Mending and things like that. You still have the insane utility of a priest, which I tend to forget because I play Discipline Priest all the time. You still have your PI, Power Infusions that you can give to somebody else. You still have your Mind Suit if you want to do some juicer skips. Holy Priest has all the utility that Discipline Priest has. The damage portion might be a little bit awkward, but you can still use things like Holy Fire, and honestly, the DPS, if you have more gear again, you can do some really substantial DPS as well. It might not be groundbreaking, but honestly, the HPS output covers for that. So why is he talking about Holy Priest when I can just swap to Discipline Priest and have a great time? Discipline Priest is being used in all of these high keys. I know Discipline Priest is the meta. I know Discipline Priest is really strong in organized groups, where you can give your PI to the right people. You can be a real support healer. It's very, very, very strong. In Mythic rating, Spiritual is really strong, with every 1 minute having an insane burst. All I want to say is that Holy Priest with Flash Concentration Legendary, both in raids and Mythic Plus, is an extremely fun healer. It is also very strong HPS healer. It is something that is really fun to try out, and especially during weeks like Grievous, where if you play as a Discipline Priest, you might be spending half your time Shadow Mending. Why not try out Holy Priest with this build, and you're gonna have, I promise you, you're gonna have an easier time on this build, especially with unorganized groups. I can almost promise you as well, if you're not all that familiar or comfortable with playing Discipline Priest, and you want to get that KSM, you want to get that Keystone Season 1 achievement, trying Holy Priest with this build possibly will give you better time, because you can account for that tank damage, you can account for that single target damage, you can still do decent DPS, and on top of that, your Prideful healing is really strong as well. So all of a sudden, if you're really just looking for that KSM, and again, I'm not saying this build is not capable of doing really, really high keys. There are people doing 20 pluses with this build. I want to change the community perception to some extent. Holy Priest is really, really solid Mythic Plus healer and raid healer with this legendary, and it almost creates a new healer class. Try it out and let me know, guys. Honestly, to some extent, it's one of the best kept secrets. Let me know, and I'll see you in my next video.